taking shortcuts in business.
Instant gratification. You want the immediate results. You want the immediate income. You want the immediate sale.
A lot of people think that they know a lot.
An easier way of doing things. But if you shortcutted it, thing is you got to the end result somehow, some way, but you learned nothing. Taking shortcuts in business. And I think that's a pretty common theme that mostly everyone can relate to. If you want to be valued, if you want to have success, if you want to grow in any type of industry, if you don't believe in yourself first, no one's going to believe in you. You guys believe that?
Absolutely.
I mean, have you guys dealt with people that want you to believe in them, that want you to give them time and work with them and all this other stuff, but they don't believe in themselves? It's like, how fruitful do you believe that's going to be?
Yeah. How do you push someone that doesn't want to get pushed by themselves? It's tough.
Yeah, it's not even just the being pushed part. It's just belief is such a strong thing that we kind of talked a little bit about last week.
Right.
But you got to be able to put in, you got to have a methodology for everything. If you want to have success, you got to first believe in yourself so others believe in you. And then you got to put in that work. The only way that you can earn respect in this business, anything, is over the course of time with consistent work. And that's something that I'm excited to see Jordan and Love take. When I was looking at shortcuts, the thing is, it comes up pretty often because I hear a lot of agents give me their ideas of why they think their business isn't growing at the rate that they want. Or if they come in and tell me, hey, this is not working, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, why is it not working? So I actually want to hear the process. It's rather than saying like, oh, you must suck. Instead of saying that, I'm like, okay, well, I know this can work. So let's backtrack this a little bit. Let's figure out what your process is. And let's figure out if there's something identifiable that we can work on. Right. We've had this conversation a few times.
Absolutely. I mean, I believe that the first shortcut that you gotta avoid is believe that you don't need guidance. That's probably in my opinion one of the biggest shortcuts. A lot of people think that they know a lot, and in reality they don't know anything, but they keep on making other people believe that they know a lot, and then you just look at him and say like, buddy, you're about to crash. Open up your eyes. So that's the biggest shortcut, believing that you know a lot, especially when we're in a new industry. You gotta give yourself the chance to be taught, to be guided, to be coached, to tell you the truth. I mean, exactly when you are messing up, and that's something that you have to continue doing, because it happened to me. It happened to me last week. I reach out to you, and you give me a couple of
gentle, loving slaps.
Exactly, and then you go like, "She, right?" I mean, so all of us fall into the exact same. Sometimes we allow frustration to get into us, but you gotta be big and humble enough to reach out. So that I mean, again, believing that you know everything is the biggest shortcut. The second one is to when it comes to activity, like I'm gonna reinvent the wheel. I'm not gonna buy leads. I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna do what I believe is gonna work. And all you're doing is just getting yourself way behind. That's another shortcut that you gotta avoid. You gotta, just join the party, per se. The wheel has already been invented, so there is no need for you to reinvent it.
Yeah. Why is it that you guys think people take shortcuts?
One is, again, they believe that they know a lot, and two is laziness, in my opinion. They get lazy because they see the process. They see that you gotta be on the phone. They gotta make phone calls. You gotta go door knocking. You gotta do a lot. You gotta do a lot of driving at the beginning, and that's why people, they do shortcuts. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think it's instant gratification. You want the immediate results. You want the immediate income. You want the immediate sale.
All right.
That you're willing to bypass a lot of things that gets you there. Now, when you take shortcuts, you can get there. Right, you get some sales here and there.
Yeah, but they don't stick.
Some of them won't stick. You can't be consistent with it because you never learned the real, process to get that consistently. Right. So some people we get this a lot as new agents come in like, all right, what's the best lead? What gets me the most money? What type of product sells the best that I can make a lot of income in? I'm like, dude, they all work, but as long as you go to work.
Exactly.
So when you cut the shortcut, it's like, dude, you can't cut a lot of the trials and errors. And that's what people are fearful of. They don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to go through the trials and errors. And I want instant results continuous results. It doesn't
Right.
happen that way.
Yeah, and when it comes to shortcuts, I mean, the reason why people take shortcuts is because there's a quicker and easier way of doing things, right?
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing. The thing you have to look at is there's times when the shortcuts actually make sense and that can actually help you. And then there's times when the shortcut, it can get you to a certain point, but it won't take you any further than that.
Mhm.
And the thing is, you skipped a lot of steps along the way. So if you got to prioritize which things you can take shortcuts on, which things you can't. You know, just for example, you got on Ringy too, right? Which we're giving Ringy way too much press, right?
Right.
Talk about them.
But let's talk
tomorrow
about
or whatever
ringing. Let's talk about ringing.
But you know, with Ringy or any one of those types of automated, services that provides like the drip campaigns.
Yeah.
Help you manage your leads. It's a CRM system. It'll send out automated messages, automated, it'll help you call. But the thing is, it makes sense in terms of using that as a shortcut. You want to sit there and manually input all of your leads rather than just upload all the CSV files and generate the leads for you. It can help you call, help you manage and arrange things. There's reasons why there's shortcuts for certain things.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that really can help you be a little bit more efficient in your business. But the thing is, you have to recognize, what can I farm out and what can't I?
Right.
Like here's a terrible example of a shortcut. There's as I started looking for leads, which our social media is listening to all of our conversations, so as soon as Clifton and I have a conversation about leads, boom, I was flooded. My news feed's flooded
That
with
algo, man.
advertisements, right? For leads or whatever we talk about.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I guess probably wouldn't be appropriate for this.
Right.
But so all these leads start popping up. Different vendors, different VAs, virtual assistants, and then there's one that says, "Hey, are you looking for closers? This closer can log into your stuff. They can log into your accounts. They can close the deal for you. They can do the whole application and then use payment fee." And I'm like, "Oh, this is a great idea. If I want to get fired, if I want to lose my license, get terminated my carrier
insurance."
Because just strictly compliance wise speaking, you should be handling your own accounts. Like, people should not be logging into your accounts unless it's a trusted admin of yours. But someone else can't go out and sell for you on your behalf if they're not licensed. That's a violation on your part. You put your license in jeopardy. You put your livelihood in jeopardy. It's a terrible shortcut, and I get it. It seems appealing because, like, hey, I can just sit back and then other people do my work for me and I'll get paid.
Right.
I just give them a cut. Seems like a no-brainer, except for the fact you're not really doing anything.
No.
Like, it's number one, it's not legal, it's not compliant, but also, you're putting your company and your business in someone else's hands.
Your license in someone else's
risk,
hands.
big time risk.
Yeah.
So going back a little bit to the ringy per se. I mean, I don't see that as a shortcut. I see that as a way to simplify the process.
The management tool.
Because the management tool is something that is before I used to have TurboTax and Call Tools at the same time, and it was fine for a little bit, but finding only one platform that can do everything, that's simplifying things, right? I mean, you speed up the process and all that stuff. That's working actually smart. I mean, it's cutting shortcuts is like the closing a deal, like you just mentioned. I mean, that's a bad way to do a shortcut just because you don't want to go through the process, through the nose, through the finding the company that is gonna give the coverage to some clients.
Yeah.
There is some companies that we use, right? If you go, I'm gonna go to this company because they approve a lot faster, and then you go to that one first, that's a shortcut. You know what I mean? But if you go through the process, okay, I'm gonna try this one, and you leave that one at the end, well, okay, that's part of the process, but cutting everything that can pay you the most just to go for the simplest way to process an application, that's a big shortcut that is gonna cost you money as well. So, I mean, there's so many ways to do shortcuts, and at the end of the day, I mean, you can be losing a lot of money. But if you get to that application, to that company that is not going to pay you a lot, but all these ones turn you down, well, now you turn a zero into something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you went through the process.
Right.
The shortcut again will be if you go to the easy one, right, without actually putting yourself through the process.
And I think that's probably the most important thing. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Because the thing is, everything could fall apart at any point. But the thing is, if you've been through that process, you actually put in the work, you put in the time, you've gained that experience. Why can't you do it again?
Right.
But if you shortcutted it, the thing is, you got to the end result somehow, some way, but you learned nothing.
Yeah.
Because you took some crazy shortcut and you just didn't pay attention to the process. You got there. How can you consistently reproduce that?
Well, actually, it's a very good point. By doing these shortcuts, you don't learn anything. And then because you're not learning anything, I mean, you keep going through the exact same easy path. And when you actually encounter a situation that needs work, you don't know where to go.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. Controversial question. Either one. Do you feel that insurance toolkits is a shortcut or a tool for you guys?
It's a tool for me. It's definitely a tool this time, especially when we're on the phone, especially when you're on the phone. Because on the phone, I mean, you're trying to quote as fast as you can. What is if you go with this company and then you go through all the medical issues that the client has, and then you pull out your book or whatever, you go like, where am I going to send it? And then you only quote with one company. It's not taking a long time. You might lose your client. Or with the toolkits, I mean, you just type right there real quick. Let the system do the work. Oh, that's a simplified way that's a smart way to work.
So it's a tool. Yeah.
It's a tool. Yeah.
But for me, I can see how it can shortcut rather than me manually pulling up all these different carriers and running a quote. It could be a shortcut in that regard. But personally, for me, I already know what carriers I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
Going with Americo, Prosperity, AIG. Every single time. And just for business reasons, because they pay us a bonus. They're all instant approval. And then I have a specific order in which I methodically go through, right?
Right.
So the thing is, for me, I don't need to run all these different quotes for different companies because I know already what I want.
Right.
I already know what I can help the clients with. I'm sticking to that plan. Right. So I look at it as a tool. I don't look at it as a shortcut necessarily.
Yeah. I see it for me. I just see it as for a brand new agent, it's a good shortcut, but it hinders them because sometimes it will show you a lower rate from a different carrier that's in our portfolio that can get them starting an application and then it never gets approved.
Right. Oh, we see that a lot.
Right. So when you're a brand new agent, it's a good Band-Aid, but it hinders you in the long run.
I can see that. Yeah, you're right.
Like I'd rather have a new agent stick with Albert's 3 main carriers. I would tell them learn Prosperity's prescription medications, Americo's prescription medication. If you can't get them approved for those 2, send them to AIG. Right. Because otherwise you'll see from the insurance toolkits, there's multiple percentages of like a few cents cheaper than the other. And it's on the number 1 list. Brand new agent, let me go with this one. Do an application. Don't get a fully underwritten application. Don't get a full decision on the spot. 2 days later, it's declined. Now you got to do a follow-up. Is that become a shortcut now or is it a hindrance? Right.
Well, John and I have been in this industry for 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
So the thing is, back when we were doing this, they didn't have Google Maps. They didn't have Apple Maps. So we took the Thomas Brother guides.
Yeah.
The Thomas, those old maps that we used to flip through like a book that you go buy at Costco or
that's how we mapped out.
And then we used to just run our appointments that way. Just look it up. Oh, got to go down this street. Got to go down this street. And then you actually had to pay attention to the roads. And then before you knew it, by the time you're done with that lead pack, you knew the whole city.
Yeah.
Right. But now with the shortcuts with Apple Maps, with Google Maps, all these different mapping systems that you have on your phones, Waze, whatever. The thing is, no one really knows where they're at.
Yeah.
Like I'll ask, hey, what street do you go down? They're like, oh, I don't know. I just put it in my phone and then I go. So that's a shortcut. But then the thing is, it doesn't allow you to actually learn anything in depth or actually understand how the process works.
No.
So, you just got to be aware of little things like that. If you don't care to know, I guess it doesn't really make a difference to you.
Yeah.
However, if you get lost without your phone or your phone goes dead, good luck to you.
We've been driving long enough and around all of Southern California. Like you can put me in one location. I can tell you where north and south and west, east. I tell you where to go to the freeway just from knowing the locations.
Right.
Isn't it funny though? I mean, like that remember that they used to have that old joke, and Darren, you probably know about this, where they used to joke about men never stop and ask for directions.
Right.
Even if you're lost, you like your pride won't allow you to do it. You're just gonna keep driving around till you figure it out. Now with Google Maps and all these things on your phone, like You don't have to do that.
Hey Siri, where am I?
Asking for directions is looking it up on your Google Maps now.
Yeah.
Why do people take shortcuts in the first place? Number one, you don't want to do the work, so you find others to do it for you. You can cheat your way into it. You can find an immoral way to do it. You're always constantly looking for life hacks, which Yoel and I we talk about it quite often because we find certain things where we're like, hey, that makes sense, but we don't really think about the consequences of taking these life hacks, right?
Right.
Some of them make sense because some of them, these steps in the process don't really matter, like cleaning life hacks, right? If you're cleaning certain things, it's like, why did I care about the entire process anyway? I just want to get to the end result. But so the easy way out, it can be quite problematic in the long run. So number one, you miss out on the journey. Okay. That's where you learn all the stuff that you need to learn for it. You may not appreciate or value what you actually end up getting because you've skipped right to the end, instant gratification. You can lose out on the learning process of it. And then after a while, life can feel dull. Right. Because there's no challenge that you need to try to figure out. There's no process for you learning. Like you just skip straight to the end. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. And then I took some more notes, and it says, and I was thinking about where can you not really take shortcuts? Number one, relationships. You take shortcuts, it's bound to implode at some certain point, right? Your dreams and your goals. Okay. That should be something where you actually put time into it. Your career, which is what we're talking about here, and fulfillment and happiness. So if you find a shortcut to any of those things, you're gonna be very hard pressed to find the value in it, fulfillment in it. It's just going to be kind of empty. And there's certain things that you can take shortcuts on, certain things you can't. Looks like we're plumb out of time today, but John, Misha, Yoel, everyone that contributed, appreciate you guys. And don't take shortcuts for things that are really important to you. We're going to send Big Chaz out there to beat you up if you do. So, all right, go out
Send
there and
Big
be
Chaz
elite,
to
guys.
tackle you.
All right, thank you.
Power double.
Have a good one.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys once again for supporting. If you guys want to see more of that, please make sure you like, subscribe, click on this link here to subscribe, click on this link for the next video.